All right, Jacob here, Dolphin Syndicate again, post-game from the car, this time outside a hotel that my mom is staying at. Went to the game for the first time in my life as a Dolphins fan. I willingly left the game early. And a lot of people are going to click on this video and see the title, the worst game in Miami Dolphins history. I try not to be hyperbolic on this channel. I know a lot of YouTube is big emotion, big reactions, overreact big, overreact small, overreact good, overreact bad. I get that's how YouTube channels grow and that's how personalities come to the forefront. But I like to give an honest opinion, and I'm just a Dolphins fan, and just as much as any of you guys are that are watching this. Ran into actually one of you guys tonight. I'm sorry if I forget your name, Nate. I forget, sorry exactly what it was, but it was good to see you, good to talk to you. It's always wonderful to meet you guys, talk to you guys. We are literally just Dolphins fans that live normal lives, regular people. So if you see us ever, please come up to us. So appreciate seeing you, bro. But I try not to exaggerate one way or another. I say what I mean what I say, and that was the worst game, the worst night in Miami Dolphins history. We've dealt with a lot of bad as Dolphins fans. I'm 24 years old. I'll be 25 in February. I have not got to see a lot from my Dolphins in terms of positivity and things, hope to hold on to, palpable, real, legitimate hope. I haven't had a lot of that as a Dolphins fan. I got to watch the 1-15 season. I got to watch recently, making the playoffs last 2 years and falling on our face. The Jay Cutler year, Brock Osweiler, bad quarterback on bad quarterback, Dante Culpepper instead of Drew Brees. Just so many moments as a Dolphins fan that you look back on like, dang, how did I stay a Dolphins fan? But recently that has turned around. Back-to-back winning seasons, back-to-back playoff appearances, and things just continue to look up. Now, this year, obviously, a little bit different going into the season with a lot of injuries and concerns already. Offensive line, completely revamped defense. What does that look like? And, there's been mixed results through the first two games. So even, before Tua got hurt, there was definitely a lot of bad to point out about that. I was getting ready to, make this very same video about, point out that bad that right now has very clearly been pushed under the rug because of the most pressing thing in this moment, and that is Tua, without a doubt. Another concussion, call it 3, call it 4, call it whatever number you want. It might be time. It might be time to retire. 2022, I held on to, what? He's a grown man. Let him make his decision. If he wants to play him. If he's healthy, he's cleared, play him. This can't keep going. Football players die young. It's a truth. It's an ugly truth that the NFL can't really hide. These guys live sometimes till they're 50, 60. Jacoby Jones in his 40s. The deaths are seemingly younger and younger as it goes on because football is one of, if not the most dangerous sport you can play. Forget the knee, forget the concussions. There's the knees, there's the back, there's the ankles. Look at Big Ben at the end. Look at Drew Brees right now. He can barely lift his right arm, he's saying. This is the reality of the sport of football. These guys do not live long, physically comfortable lives post-football. They get a lot of money young. They can set up their family for generations to come. They can set up themselves to live financially comfortable and independent for the rest of their lives. And you trade that with maybe a couple decades off your life. Tua, with these concussions, has to have a serious look in the mirror and conversation with his family. Is this worth it? Is going back on the football field ever again worth it? What are the pros? What are the cons? You've made a lot of money. And obviously walking away from a $200+ million contract is something that every single person in this video wish you had had the luxury to do so. I wish I could look at $200 million and be like, you know what? It's not worth it. I don't think it's worth it for Tua anymore. He's made good money. He's made more money than I'll probably make in my lifetime. He's already made that via endorsements, via his rookie contract, via the money he's going to make this year. He's going to far exceed any money I will make in my entire life. why keep playing? Why keep putting yourself into harm's way when you have a family that is just starting to blossom? You guys can live out and be happy, set up your kids for the best education. You and your wife live a comfortable, happy life back in Hawaii. What's a better place in the world than to spend the next 30, 40, 50 years of your life with a lot of money than being a native Hawaiian, going back to Hawaii to live? That's a dream. That's a dream that all of us, most of us here watching, will not get to live. I don't know why it's worth it anymore. The team, just from a team perspective, you have to now obviously completely focus on Skylar Thompson. Does he have it? Did not look good here today. Obviously hasn't been running with the starters, and he looked good in preseason, but we've seen preseason Skylar Thompson's story before. We've seen what it translates to in a real NFL game. Ryan Tannehill, is this the easiest plug and play, even though pretty much nobody in the organization was here when Ryan Tannehill was here? The only connection really is ownership, and I'm sure Chris Greer had some sort of rank in the organization that I don't remember what it was, but it's just such an easy thing to plug and play. And look, I'm for sure down for bringing him in and seeing what he's got, and just saying Tua, look, we need you to sit down and make a major decision. Until then, we're going to look in the other direction. It's a lot of money the Dolphins have to worry about now if he does decide to not retire, because if he doesn't retire, that money is guaranteed. The Dolphins cannot play him all they want, but the money is getting paid one way or another. But I don't care about the money. I don't care about tomorrow for the Dolphins. I don't care about the Seahawks in 10 days or whatever it is. I don't care about that right now. I've seen a kid that, I say kid, he's older than me. I'm a kid. I've seen a guy that I nearly cried when we drafted him, because I believed that much in my heart that he was the savior for the Dolphins and he was going to take us to the promised land. He's going to win a Super Bowl. When the moment I heard, with the 5th pick in the 2020 draft, Miami Dolphins select Tua Tagovailoa, I remember sprinting around the house in joy. And since that, whether it be how the Brian Flores situation played out, whether that be his injuries, whether it be the Dolphins letting down in the playoffs, whatever that may be, there's been just so much of that initial hope and love and what does this mean? Where will we go? All of that has been taken away. I don't see this team winning without Tua. I don't necessarily see this team winning with Tua with the performance we saw today before the injury, and it's only going to get harder once his contract does start to kick in. But again, that's a conversation for another day. He has to make a decision, and he already said he considered retirement earlier when the 2022 injuries were going on. I don't understand why he would stick around. Is it the worst day? Is it the worst game in Dolphins history? I absolutely think so. I don't even know if I explained why I feel this way. I think I may have just gone into the rant that I had. There was hope. There was belief. There was the next step to be taken, and whether it be what happened on the field in terms of just play, how we just got pushed around and bullied by the Buffalo Bills for 4 quarters, just as they always do to us. Just like always what happens when we face off against a top opponent that you need to be able to beat in order to go far. Every time we play these teams, this is what happens. Not only did that happen leading up to what happened to Tua, but then, of course, Tua going down, yet another concussion, looked like seizing up yet again. As soon as he reached his arm out, I didn't see any seizing. It didn't look like as bad as the first one did, but just how he reached out his hand to a Bills defensive lineman, seemingly, he had no idea where he was. He had no idea what planet he was on. And the reports right now, thankfully, are all good that he's conscious, full movement of his extremities. There was none of that. He was with his family in the locker room while the game was still going on, and was conscious enough to have a positive report put out about him. But just another injury, another concussion, and another sad day as a Miami Dolphins fan. I've experienced highs with this team, not a lot. Experienced a lot of lows with this team. This moment tonight might be the lowest I've ever felt as a Dolphins fan. First time I've ever left a game before it ended by my own choosing, where I was with my mom and she just said something like a half joke, half seriousness about leaving. I'm like, we can leave. And we immediately got up and left, and that was that. Don't even have a lot to say about the game. We'll talk about that probably a little bit more as the weekend falls upon us and going into next week. And obviously we'll still talk about Tua and what this means. We'll talk about what's next and whatnot. We'll eventually get to the gameplay, as that was abysmal. But just for now, nothing but sorrow and bad emotions that I felt so much as a Dolphins fan, but certainly at the peak. This is a soundboard video. Let us know down below in the comments where you are with this. What do you think about Tua? I just ask us, please try to keep it respectful. Obviously that was not a good play by him, but I'm not going to sit here and say like it's his own fault for putting himself in a situation. He tried to make a play. He shouldn't have done it, but I want to keep it classy as much as I can and not point too many fingers. But again, please let us know your thoughts down below. Like, subscribe. Again, Nate, sorry, forget exactly what your name is, but brother, if you're watching this, appreciate you very much for watching. Appreciate you for reaching out. That's all I got to say. We'll see you probably tomorrow with a more encompassing review. But until then, have a great rest of your day. Go Dolphins.